Won't you come and say if you know the way?
Morning, it's a Monday, lunchtime, and I'm leaving the boat and going off for another solo wild camp, hopefully with less midges than last time. So off again into the Peak District, and I'm just off to get the train, and I'll tell you where I'm going as I go along. So I'm back in Hope, and the idea today is to go to the top of that ridge behind me, and somewhere along the top there I should find somewhere to pitch up the tent, and I should be overlooking Ladybower Reservoir, and with any luck I'll get a sunrise and a sunset. So it's about 3:30, which is quite a good time to start, because as I'll be coming up the hill, people who have been out for the day will be coming off, and hopefully later on the only people up there will be the ones doing the same thing as me. Well, I've come up through a couple of fields, and the walk starts proper from this lovely little village called Anston. There's not much here. There's a hall, Anston Hall, some beautiful cottages and a farm. My way is up there. It's interesting, when I post videos about solo camping, I get a few comments about being brave, or people saying I wouldn't do that. And it is going a bit out of your comfort zone sometimes, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared of people out on the hills. I mean, everybody that's out here is basically doing the same thing, or they're running or cycling and checking their times, and you know, there's not weirdos out here, unless you call that sort of person weirdo. The thing that I'm not scared of, but the thing that I'm most careful about, is being prepared, like a good girl guide. As Henry always says, what does he say? Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance, and that's important. So the main thing is to have equipment that's suitable. So I know that mine's not suitable for really cold weather, and I'll probably be okay if it rained, but not if it rained all the time. And anyway, I don't think I find a great lot of pleasure in that. So the first thing I do is to watch the weather forecast for days beforehand and figure out the best time to go. I don't like wind. If you have a windy night in a tent, you're not going to sleep well, and you're not going to sleep well anyway the first night in a tent. You just have to accept that. I think if you're going on a multi-day hike, the sleep gets better after a few days, but when you do single nights, I think your senses are a bit alert, and it's difficult to switch off and sleep really well. I do bring earplugs, and that helps a bit. I have a good tent. I don't have a great sleeping bag, but it's okay. I've got a good sleeping mat, and I sleep quite hot, so I'm usually okay at night. I have a whistle in case of problems. I plan my route on the Ordnance Survey app, and I download it before I go, so that if there's no signal, I've still got the route. It's easier than struggling with a paper map. If I'm going on a long walk or a multi-day walk, I would have the map as well. But for single days, the app is great, and I make sure I've got a power pack to back up my energy usage. It's really important not to overpack. You can end up packing this and that just in case, but it makes it really unpleasant to carry, and it's really annoying if you get back and you haven't used things, so I try to pack really light. Water, you have to have water, and water is heavy, so I always take a litre with me, and I check to see if there's any springs. And today there should be some springs up there. There has been some rain, not much, but I should be able to get some more water, and I'll survive on a litre anyway. But I need to have, ideally, plenty for tea tonight, tea in the morning, and water to rehydrate my evening meal. So sort of getting close to 2 litres really. Oh, and cleaning my teeth, of course. So I have a list. Very important, the list. And that's come from experience. It's never big things that you forget when you go. It's always little things like earplugs. Today I've forgotten the cup that goes on the bottom of my trekking pole, which helps to support my tent. Because the ground is dry, I don't think the pole will sink. So yeah, once you've got all of that in place, you're pretty safe. And obviously instinct comes into it. I mean, I'm old enough now to be able to trust my instinct. Instinct is just experience, isn't it, really? It's all your life experience. And if I did think somebody was around and they were dodgy, I would keep on walking. And these days you can hold your phone up and tell people that you're filming live, and that would make people back off. I've done that before actually with some lads on the canal, and it works. They scarper pretty quick. So with all that in place, you're generally fine. Is there though? I mean, is that saying don't come in when it's a public footpath? Is it saying be careful? I mean, how can you be careful apart from not letting a dog run around? I can't actually see any, so I think it's an old sign, but I don't know. These signs need to be specific, and they need to be there when there actually are bulls in the field, I think. Climbing over stiles with 10 kilos on your back makes you very unstable. You can quite often end up falling backwards, and that one was quite high for my short legs. So the other thing that people ask is why? And there's 2 parts to that for me. The thing is, when you go out on an overnight camp, you have about 18 hours to reset. You can't really think about anything else. You're too busy following your trail, getting lost, finding somewhere to pitch up, looking for water. And the minute you set foot on the grass and you start climbing and you get these sorts of views, everything quietens down and you're in the moment. And there's something really special about being by yourself at the end of the day and first thing in the morning when you're out in nature. It's difficult to explain if you haven't done it, but it's very peaceful, and little surprises come along. You see hares, you see sunrises. It's just, I don't know, it sets me up for days afterwards. The second part to that is that I know, as you get older, you get a bit more niche in your interests, I suppose. And I don't actually have many friends who would find this an attractive prospect. It's not Henry's thing. He does come out with me occasionally, and he worries, obviously. But most of my other friends, they've got other things in their life, and besides, I'm off on the narrowboat, so there's lots of people that do this, but not in my circle of friends. I'm inspired by Wild Bear, who I follow on YouTube. She's been doing it for a few years, and she will literally camp under a baseball cap. She tries out all different ways of doing it in terrible weather, usually in the Welsh mountains. She sleeps in bivvies, tarps, hammocks, and she always seems to get a lot out of it, and I find that very inspiring. So when I'm dilly-dallying over it, I just think about that and give myself a kick up the butt and go for it. You can spend ages waiting for all the conditions to be right. Sometimes you just have to go for it. Oh, it's raining over there, and the breeze has got up a little. I may get wet, and of course I didn't bring my raincoats. There wasn't any forecast, but that's weather for you. And there's the first view of Ladybower Reservoir. It's very low at the moment, as you can imagine. And years ago, a village was flooded for the reservoir, and when the water's really low, you can see it. It's not very spectacular. It's not like you would imagine, you know, a whole village which just comes back to life when the water goes. It's just piles of stones. But people are travelling to have a look at it at the moment because it's quite unusual, I think. Certainly not an every year thing. Just found a magic mushroom. My friend John said to me once, when you find a magic mushroom, eat it and the rest will sing to you. But I won't this time. Well, out of nowhere, the winds came whistling over the tops of the hills, great big gust of it, bringing a line of rain with it. So I'm on the edge of the woods, just sheltering from it. I wouldn't camp in here. You can see how much stuff has fallen down. Be very risky, I think. So I'm just going to stay here until this passes. I've come under a sycamore. It felt more stable than those pine trees. And it's pouring with rain, but the sun is trying to come out. I think it was just a little gust, which will disappear in a minute, I hope. This is actually lovely, mainly because I know it's going to pass. But it's very peaceful, just listening to the rain. And then it was gone, just leaving it all refreshed. So up here is Windhill Pike. I wasn't going to go up to the top, but I'm here, so I'll just go and have a peek. If there's any people around, this is where they'll be, because people are always drawn to the highest points, like I have been. Oh, rewarded with a rainbow. Wow. I'm up at the trig. I can't believe I'm the only person up there. There's usually lots of people here. And there's Ladybower down there and over there. The puddle that is the reservoir. And now I've got to decide where I'm going to go. look for a pitch. So it's about 5:30 and I've got another hour or so before I need to find a spot. So there is a spring marked on the map somewhere along here, and I'm going to see if there is actually any water, because that would be a good place to stop. And if not, I'll just have to make sure I do with what I've got. Well, I think the spring comes down there when it's springing. There's lots of marsh grass here, so it's obviously usually wet, but no water today. Well, I thought I'd seen a flat piece of ground that I could pitch up in, and I trampled up through the heather and it wasn't really flat enough. Oop. And now I've got to come back down. There's no path here, not even a sheep track, and luckily for me the ground isn't squidgy, but it's not easy to walk in this. I've fallen over a couple of times, but I know that the path is down on that line of trees. Oop. So I'm getting there. I'm a bit of a numpty sometimes. Oop. Right, not far to go. Oi, I made it. Okay, lesson learnt on walking through heather. Well, I'm being very picky. There's some nice grass to camp on in there, but I don't know, those trees look a bit spooky to me, and it's a nice evening and I'd like a view, so I think I remember a spot along here. Well, I think I found my spot. I'm in, well, behind a wall, two corners of it, nice and flat. The path is on the other side, but my tent should just be hidden. And there's plenty of bracken around if I want to make it more stealth. That's the east, so I shall see the sunrise in the morning. I'm not going to set it up just yet because still chance of a late dog walker around. Although I haven't seen anybody actually all afternoon. I've heard a couple of people right up on the top, but I haven't seen a soul. So I'm going to get my venison stew going and peg the tent out, and then I'll pop it up in a little while and I can go and watch the sun set then. So what I did with my venison stew this time, last time it took a fair bit of cooking and it was a little bit chewy, although it did taste really nice. But just before I left today, I put in about 1/4 cup of water. So it's been absorbing that all afternoon. And I'm going to cook it and leave it for a good 20 minutes or so before I eat it. So I'm going to get that going now and then peg the tent out. I've got a teeny tiny problem. My trekking pole is broken, which means I can't get the tent up. This bottom bit is supposed to fix in place and it's not. I've got no gaffer tape, so I'm going to have to ponder what I can do to fix it, because I can't be in a tent that's only that high. I'll think of something. And after fiddling around, I got some twiggy grass and I've shoved it in there, and I think that should do. It'll do me for one night, I'm sure. Yeah, that'll do. See, I always look to Handy Henry to fix these things, but I can do it myself. Done it, tent's up. It all seems secure enough. The sun is beautiful over there, and just been sitting here watching all the lights come on, and I suddenly saw what I thought was headlights coming over the hill, and I've just realised it's the moon. And I think it was a full moon last night. It was the eclipse. It's terrible on the camera, I can't really show you, it's just fuzzy, but from where I'm standing it's amazing. Church bells are going. Over there is Bamford, where I'll work my way down to tomorrow. Oh, that moon's spectacular though. Well, it's getting a bit chilly and a bit damp out here, so I am going to clean my teeth, nip into the tent and listen to a podcast, and pop out and have a look at the moon every now and again. It's coming up so quickly. Good morning. It's 6 o'clock and I'm just going to see what's happening out here. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, I'm just going to stay here in my sleeping bag until the sun peeps over, because it's a bit chilly, very damp. There's a lot of condensation on the inside. But luckily, I'd expected that and I've bought a cloth for it. Watching the sun come up and burn off the mist, that's what it's all about. It's so lovely, so peaceful, spectacular. Well, the sun comes up and starts drying everything off. I'm going to get packed up. The tent goes in its own dry bag, so it doesn't matter if it's wet. I can dry it out on the boat later and it won't make the stuff in my bag wet. And all of this has just got a few drips on it, which are drying off nicely. And then I'm going to walk down through the mist. That's it, I'm all ready to go. Leaving, as always, no trace. And I found in here somebody else's. Which will come down with me. So, making a net gain. Off down into the valley obscured by clouds. And not 2 minutes from where I was camping, I found a water source. It's not flowing much, but I could have filtered that. Never mind, I may do. This has been a great camp. I'm really glad, because it's taken me a while to come round to the Peak District. I left my heart in the Lake District last year, and I've been comparing it unfavourably and unfairly with the Lake District. You have to look a bit harder in the peaks. It's busy here because of the road system that goes through it, but it's softer than the Lake District. It doesn't have the drama, except for this morning, which is very dramatic. So I think it's just taken me a while to get into it. And I think that next year we will probably be on the other side of the Peak District, and I'll be able to explore it a bit more. So it's sort of divided into two parts, the dark peaks and the white peaks. It's to do with the stone, and really I've only been in the dark peaks this year, so there's all the other part to explore too. And there's a lot more up on Kinder Scout, which is a really big plateau. As long as I can get there by public transport, I can explore it. Back to views of the cement factory. Looks like it's producing mist for the valley. They're letting Shetland cows graze here. An essential and accepted way to manage and enhance the flowers and wildlife of the meadows and woodlands. Excellent. And as I come to the end of my route, I leave the beautiful hill up there behind and arrive at this beautiful weir.
Away to find the sun. Tell all that.
Breakfast at the village bakery.
Show